Hey everybody, it's Mark from Northeast Bass Fishing, and I got an order today from Slider Fishing. And Slider is like an old school company. When I first got into bass fishing a long time ago, Slider worms is what we threw. And I haven't bought anything from Slider in a long time. And it's funny because recently I read an article in the Bass Times, and I think it was Rick Morris was talking about, one of the pros was talking about how when it gets really tough, he likes to throw the, the original slider head with like a finesse worm. So I was reading the article and I said, I have the old now. I didn't get these in my order. This is like the traditional like slider head that I used to use. And I can't remember the last time I threw a slider worm. But there's your traditional slider head. Now I didn't get this in this order. I'll show you what I got in the order I got in a minute here. But there's your traditional slider head. And I can't remember how long ago I got this box with the slider worms in it. And there's your typical slider worm. It's like finesse fishing at its finest. And we used to throw these all the time around here, and you just cinch it on there, get your worm right to that bend, and this is like, weedless finesse fishing. That's how we threw a slider, on like 8-pound mono back in the day. And I guarantee you, if you went and did this now, you would catch fish. But it's like, the old stuff and the old techniques we get away from as new stuff comes out, or, you fish more. But that's how, we fish the old slider worms. And caught a lot of fish doing it. But when I read the article that Rick Morris put out, it was in Bass Times, and it was probably I was going through some of my old ones that I hadn't looked at in a while, and I was reading the article, and I said, hey, let me try it. So I got some of the original. You know what I'll do? I'll just show you what I got in the order first, and then I'll show you how he was talking about. And I just grabbed a Zoom finesse worm, trick worm to try it out, and I'm gonna try it out, because it's a good time of year to do it when the fishing is tough and the water's warm and the fish are a little cranky. But I got some of the original slider heads. I believe these are a 1/4 ounce. I got 2 packs of the original slider heads, and these are different than those other ones I showed you. And if I can get it open. Making a mess. But you can tell the difference from the original, like the way that head is flat like that. Like this is the one I used to always use the most, which is just a weighted jig head. This one has that flat, so it kind of gives it like a glide as it falls. And I haven't thrown ones like this, and I can't even find them in the basement. I don't even know if I have them anymore. I just have that other kind. But with that flat, it kind of gives you that nice, wobble, I guess, as it falls. And I figured, why not try it? So I got a couple. I got some of the unpainted 1/8 ounce ones, and these are the Pro Series ones, so it has a little more stout hook. But that's a 1/4 ounce. Got 2 of those, and then I got the original ones with that head, with just the regular hook. So you can see it's not as big as that gap of a hook. It's a smaller gap hook here. Here's the Pro Series if you're thinking of getting some or trying them. Just go to sliderfishing.com. But there's your Pro 1/4 ounce, and there's your original 1/4 ounce. So it's a bigger hook. That's why they call it the Pro Series. They gave it a little more stout hook. This is a little more finessey. I also picked up, just a pack of worms. This is a pack of slider worms. That's the blue with the white tail. Those look kind of cool. So, I still have a lot of boxes of worms, slider worms downstairs from back in the day, and I think I probably even have some of their tubes. The website's really nice. I was just kind of looking through it about 2 weeks ago, and brought back a lot of memories of things I used to throw. So, I never had any of the slider drop shot worms, and I thought this might make a good bait to try when drop shot season gets here, which is kind of now. And these are just 3-inch worms. That's a Tennessee shad. believe that's a June bug. Or no, sour grape, my bad. So here's your sour grape. And these are 3-inch drop shot baits. There's your June bug with a chartreuse tail, which is always a good color. This one is just plain black. What's nice about the Slider products is, you know, this is old school stuff that still works. It's not really such old school anymore, but you know, and it's not real expensive. It's not real expensive. And I think they do free shipping on orders over $50, like most people do. And there's your black with a chartreuse tail. This is earthworm color, and these are drop shot baits, 3-inch Slider drop shot baits. And that's Smoke Glitter is the name of that color. It's pretty cool looking. So now that I'm going to be doing more drop shotting this time of year, I want to try these out. And that's what I got from Slider. I got the heads, the jig heads, the pack of worms, and the drop shot baits. But I'm going to show you how, in the article where they talked about how they rigged this up, and he was talking about using a different kind of worm. I just happen to have these on the shelf, so I grabbed them. What I might do is I might just make that a little flatter, that head. Just cut off a little bit of the end there. And you guys can use any worm you like. You don't have to use a zoom worm. You can take the Slider head and put the regular Slider worm and put it in there. But they were talking about in the article of just running this through. That should be far enough. Let's see if I measured it right with my eyes. Okay. And just throwing it just like that. A nice finesse presentation. And with that flat head, the way that'll just kind of glide down to the bottom. And there you go. There's your finesse setup with the Slider worm. And this is just a zoom trick worm. You can use any worm you like. That's a pumpkin chartreuse. See the chartreuse tail, pumpkin worm. And, you know, any color you want. So I'm going to try these out. I'll probably not throw them around too rocky. You know, I'll probably be off the bank a little when I throw these, when it's not quite as rocky. If you're going to throw with that open hook like that. You know, because you're going to get hung up a lot. So, you know, this is probably for not a lot. You know, I wouldn't throw this into real, you know, heavy riprap or anything. Unless you're going to keep swimming it a little bit. But nice idea. So I'm going to try that out, you know, add that to the finesse arsenal. And, you know, this time of year when that water's warm, as I said in other videos, we got 80-degree water temps already. Reservoirs are starting to get a little low with the lack of rain we've had. So it's definitely, based on the last 3 times I've been out, it's pretty much finesse time, which I hate. I'd rather be out there throwing my jigs and power fishing, but I fear the reality is setting in and it's going to be finesse time, and so things like this could turn like a real snoozer of a day into some fish in the boat. So it's something the Slider head is something I haven't done in years, but it's kind of neat seeing an article from 2000. I think it was a 2019 Bass Times talking about Slider heads, because you don't really hear people talk about it much anymore. But there's your original Slider head. Like I said, go to sliderfishing.com and look around. They got tons of, you know, finesse type baits. Even in my order, they threw a couple, you know, sample packs in. It's like their little swim bait. This, I'm not sure what this is. It looks like a little tiny swim bait. It might be like more of a crappie bait there. But they threw a couple samples in here for me to try. So that's it for the Slider order that came in. I'll let you know how this goes. You know, when I start, you know, get out on the water again, when it's not 100 degrees out, and looks pretty neat. Looks pretty neat. I'm sure I'll probably lose a few heads in the rocks, so that's why I bought 2. So how many are in a pack? 4. So I got 8 of them. So see how long it takes me to lose 8, and then I got 8 of the regular ones. So that's it right there. There's your Slider finesse setup, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll let you guys know how that produces, and try some different types of worms on it. I'm going to try some of those other finesse worms that I have, other than this trick worm, but looks good. Should be interesting. So that's it. That's the Slider order, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Mark out.